morning in America. Fresh, vital. The old cynicism is gone. We have faith in our leaders. We're optimistic as to what becomes of it all. It really boils down to our ability to accept. We don't need pessimism. There are no limits.
It figures it would be something like this.
Our nation, our ideals of vision.
Excuse
We don't want
me.
to just survive.
You know,
We want to
you look like your head
succeed.
fell on the cheese dip back in 1957. You're okay. This one, real ugly. You see, I take these glasses off, she looks like a regular person, doesn't she, huh? Put them back on, formaldehyde face. That's what we got.
That's enough out of you. You get out or I call the cops.
Call the cops. You know what you need? You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
I've got one that can see.
Folks, while most of the people in the world are asleep to the agenda, many of us know that the COVID-19 coronavirus is being used to forward governance and to push us into a new world order, or as Henry Kissinger calls it, a liberal world order. I want to show you something from the 4th of April. This is Dr. Anthony Fauci, and he is giving what appears to be the lion's paw hidden hand sign that is often associated with adherents of the various branches of the ancient Babylonian mystery schools, including but not exclusive to Freemasonry. You be the judge. This seems very deliberate, and then he waves afterwards to someone else after having appeared to signal that he is a member of one of the branches of the ancient mystery schools. This hand sign is most often seen with the right hand being used, and some may say, well, Dr. Fauci's using his left hand, so it can't be. Well, George Washington was a Freemason, and here we can see in this picture that he was using his left hand as the hidden hand sign. And it is probably no coincidence that Dr. Anthony S. Fauci, the head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and a point person on the federal government's response to coronavirus, graduated from the Holy Cross Jesuit College in Worcester in 1962. I'm not going to say any more about this at the moment, but I thought it was worth bringing it to people's attention, and you can do with it what you will.
There are stories circulating on the internet that in India and elsewhere, the drug ribavirin has been shown to be effective against this virus. Yet, Homeland Security is telling the CDC not to make any announcements until stockpiles of the drug can be secured.
Well, Dr. Gupta, there continue to be evaluations of several drugs. Ribavirin is among them. But right now, our best defense has been social distancing. No handshaking, staying home when you're sick, washing your hands frequently.
Can you tell us to date how many people have died from this virus?
Very difficult. We're still working on confirming that number. There are 50 different states in this country, which means there are 50 different health departments, followed by 50 different protocols.
Let me bring in Alan Crumwoody into this debate as well. Alan's a freelance journalist. He was the first to track the Shinko Busman video. Alan, today on Twitter, you wrote that the truth about this virus is being kept from the world by the CDC, by the World Health Organization, to allow friends of the current administration to benefit from it, both financially and physically.
There are therapies we know are effective right now, like forsythia, and they don't even appear on the CDC website.
On your blog, you also wrote that the World Health Organization is somehow in bed with pharmaceutical companies.
Because they are. That's who stands to gain from this. They're working hand in glove. And the hand is reaching into our pockets.
The CDC is exploring forsythia and other homeopathic treatments, but right now, There's no science to back any of these claims.
Or no way Dr. Cheever or the people who put him into power can profit from it.
We're not ruling anything out. There are people who are sick, people who are dying, and we
They're not keeping us safe from this any more than they kept us safe
about the
Wall
health
Street
of
or Katrina. Dr. Cheever is being a bit disingenuous when he says every American citizen.
We're working very hard to find out where this virus came from, to treat it and to vaccinate against it if we can. We don't know all of that yet. We just don't know. What we do know is that in order to become sick, you have to first come in contact with a sick person or something that they touched. In order to get scared, all you have to do is come in contact with a rumor or the television or the internet. I think what Mr. Crumwoody is spreading is far more dangerous than the disease.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes.
That's funny.
What's funny?
No, I think you're funny, because if you check on Facebook, you'll find a communique attributed to Dr. Cheever by Elizabeth Nygaard about the quarantine of Chicago, hours before it was announced to the public. That's why I think he's a bit disingenuous when he says equal care for all and not just his friends.
Some pretty wild allegations here, Dr. Cheever. I mean, can you tell us what communication appeared and when? What exactly is the nature of your relationship with Elizabeth Nygaard?
Well, again, I'm not aware of anything attributed to me on any social
I'm
network,
sure you're not.
Facebook,
It is
Twitter.
there. It is there. Tell them what an Arnold of 2 really means, Dr. Cheever. Teach them some math. No? I'll do it.
And joining us now is Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Needs no introduction past that.
Dr. Gupta, here to break down the facts on COVID-19.
Is there one red flag, something you're experiencing at home that says, okay, time to get to the hospital, get to the doctor, and get the real care?
One of the red flags, and again, I want to be a little humble here because, we're learning about this all together, really real time. I mean, a lot of times when I've spoken to you in the past, I'm telling you things, it's based on 20 years of data, right? I can really feel confident.
Sure.
We haven't even had 3 months. This is a brand new thing. But having said that, one of the things I think is a bit of a red flag is, let's say you're not feeling well, then you start to feel better, and then all of a sudden the symptoms come back. That coming back part is of concern. Obviously, if you have sudden worsening of symptoms, difficulty breathing, spiking a high fever, things like that are more serious symptoms. But if you start to develop this sort of crescendo effect, that's worth talking to your doctor about. We know that the most vulnerable people are people who are elderly, typically in their 70s or 80s, although they define elderly as 60 and above. It's really people in their 70s and 80s who are most affected by this, and people who really have 4 underlying health conditions, which are heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, and lung disease. Those are the people we got to help protect.
Most importantly is most people who get this are going to recover. So there's a lot of emphasis on the corona test, but something tells me that, if you're a healthy person, you don't need a test.
This virus, the coronavirus, the new one, tends to affect the lower part of your respiratory system, more so than the upper part of your respiratory system. So what does that mean? It means that, things like shortness of breath might be an earlier symptom. But on the other hand, if you have a runny nose, that makes it less likely to be coronavirus. Most people, if they do get exposed to this virus, are going to have a few bad days, a few days of being miserable, and they're going to recover.
On day 1, there were 2 people with it, and then there were 4, and then it was 16, and you think you've got it in front of you. But next it's 256, and then it's 65,000, and it's behind you and above you and all around you. In 30 steps, it's 1 billion sick. 3 months. It's a math problem you can do on a napkin, and that's where we're headed. And that's why you won't even tell us the number of the dead, will you, Dr. Cheever? But you'll tell your friends when to get out of Chicago before anyone else has a chance.
They're looking for a scapegoat.
He's a tall Caucasian male, doesn't appear armed, wearing sunglasses.
I don't like this one bit. Not one bit.
Vice President Dick Cheney, the man who's only a heartbeat away from the presidency, is actually a blood relation. He's President Bush's 9th cousin once removed. Cheney's cousin Barack Obama is also Bush's 11th cousin and the 9th cousin of Brad Pitt. But we're only just getting started. President Lincoln was President Bush's 7th cousin 5 times removed, and Bush shared more than just a ballot with John Kerry. That's right, they're ninth cousins twice removed. There's also royalty in the Bush bloodline. Princess Diana was Bush's 11th cousin twice removed. And then there's this bombshell. Sure, she may have been singing to JFK, but what about GWB? He is, after all, her ninth cousin 3 times removed. He's also related to Playboy founder Hugh Hefner, even Pocahontas, and Vlad the Impaler. Trace the family tree far enough, and you get Madonna.
We are all shapeshifters. We are all lonely drifters. If we've gotten out, we escape through the winking eyes in secret handshakes. Disposable me, expendable you. Just take what you need, do what you do. You take me under. This heart has seen better days. You got my number. Girl, there's no change in my ways. Over and over, you're on better days. You got my number. Girl, there's no change in my ways. Over and over, you're on your own. Shapeshifters, 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 shapeshifters. Running from me, I'm hiding from you. There goes my